Imagine you're a terrified child, hugging your belongings, huddled in the corner of a train where you know no one, going miles and miles away from your parents, to some relative you've never met before. You might never see your parents or your house ever again, and your life will never be the same. Dreadful image, isn't it? That's how an evacuee child felt in the world wars. Those times are thankfully behind us, but it is necessary that we get to know the why, when, how, where, and who was involved in the history of the wars. Today we will go into detail about the terrible events of the First World War. Surprisingly, it was the assassination of a single man, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the ruler of Austria-Hungary, that was the match lighting the world on fire. This trigger brought about the Great War. He was assassinated on June 28, 1914, by Gavrilo Princip, a Serbian nationalist, and Austria rose. The leadership in Austria was fearful of the fact that Germany supported Serbia, so it took only a promise of support from Germany's part that handed them the opportunity to target Serbia. The alternate conditions they drew up for Serbia were so impossible that war was imminent. Serbia set up their military ranks immediately and approached Russia to ally with. Not a week passed before alliances formed, and fuel was added to the fire. Belgium, Britain, and France, too, joined forces with Serbia, becoming the Allied forces. War was declared on Serbia on July 28th by Austria-Hungary and Germany, the Central Powers. Germany, trying to be smart, strategically invaded two fronts, Russia in the east and France in the west. August 4th, 1914, saw Germany crossing into Belgium and annexing Liege City by August 15 in the war's first battle. This gave them easy access to France, so they expected a quick victory. But in this first battle of the Marne, fought from 6th to September 9th, France and Britain emerged victoriously. The Battle of Verdun and Somme both followed in 1916 in this region, causing over 1 million casualties. On the Eastern Front, Germany, although victorious, dealt with heavy losses as Russia invaded German-held regions, and Germany was forced to draw further back than planned. Russia, unable to hold its ground, was pushed to the verge of the revolution in the close of 1917 and drew itself out of the war, leaving Germany free to approach the other allies in combat. America had so far remained neutral and maintained trade with both sides of the European conflict. But as Germany attacked some neutral trade U.S. ships, America too raised arms in February 1917, hungry for bloodshed and vengeance. The Ottoman Empire, too, joined its ranks with the Central Powers of Austria and Germany in late 1914 and was successful in the Gallipoli campaign against the Allies. On the other hand, Italy joined the Allied forces, and after many battles of the Isonzo in 1917, Germany won on that front. Still, all the other Allies soon started counterattack to regain power. In the Second Battle of the Marne on July 15, 1918, the Central Powers were faced with their defeat as Britain and 85,000 American troops backed French troops, and the Allies started to take back France and Belgium with their counter-attack strategies. By the end of 1918, Turkey signed a treaty with the Allies, and the Central Powers had all the cards stacked against them and were falling apart, making them reach a truce by November 11, 1918. Thus came an end to the Great War. Although the Great War, and at the time mistakenly referred to as the War to End All Wars, painted red the calendars of the world from 1914 to 1918, with over 19 million civilian and military lives laid down and 21 million wounded, still, it did bring about some considerable changes in the world. Modern warfare was introduced, and the women left behind the men who were forced to become soldiers joined the workforce, changing the future dynamics. After the Second World War and the signs of a third, we can only hope that the world's nations never commit those follies and atrocities again.